Hello. Well, this is the, I think, second time that I'm going live and that I don't realize how quickly it starts going live. So bear with me. I'm still learning how to navigate YouTube and especially going live. Okay, so I created this live, I think it was the very beginning of April 2026, and we're now in June, almost the end of June 2026. And I changed the title a little bit because I initially planned to launch this on the pink full moon that was in the beginning of April 2026. But there were other plans, and every time I tried to go live with that particular like energetic embedded transmission, just was not the time. And so, yeah, I wasn't planning this at all. I actually had different plans today and they didn't work out because I actually needed a lot more rest than I planned. So I kind of missed the plans. Yeah. And I did a little just vessel maintenance and then I just got the ping like, remember that pink plasma live transmission that you've been sort of energetically weaving? Well, it's time. So here we are. And right before I wanted to record, I'm looking at the spot. There was a pistachio, one single lonely little pistachio, just sitting right next to the chair. Now, I know that my sister works where in this room a little bit during the week. Today is a Sunday, and this is the room I am staying in. I just got here on the 16th. It's the 28th, so however many days that's been. And I know she was eating pistachios, but I've been in this room every night and I never saw the pistachio until I was literally about to go live. So something told me to look up the like metaphysical or spiritual meaning of a pistachio, and I have it right here. Spiritually, the pistachio represents hidden inner wisdom, mindfulness, and abundant blessings because of its hard outer shell, protecting a nourishing green core. It is a symbol of patience, personal growth, and the reward that comes from breaking through superficial layers to discover profound truth. Whenever I have not recorded for a little bit, sometimes I just feel like so much coming in. It even happens when I record a lot too. And the way that I sort of tune in is a very, we'll say, nonlinear approach. And there's been some people over the years who say, like, it's a bit too, I don't have the words, but like this. So yeah, if that's not your style, that's totally okay. But that is the way that I transmit energetics. So yeah. Also, if I bring through some sort of like symbolism, I do my best to trust my like inner ping. And if I feel guided to go deeper, I will. If not, feel free to like, because usually so much comes through. So like, please be an active participant if you'd like and look into symbolism and or think back to different like experiences, dreams, synchronicities that you may have had that are connected to it. And if you feel guided to share and comment, I would love that. Because so many people can also maybe benefit or receive in drinking an iced coffee, and it's so good. I hope you have a delicious beverage or something with you. Okay, so I just felt something like right here, just slightly tickle my shoulder. Okay, so the word burdens is coming through. Someone could be sort of navigating. It feels like this collective is navigating through identifying and isolating burdens that may not actually belong to them and have been sort of, well, when I say not belong to them, it's like this alchemical transmutation process, right? So you're identifying them and um, maybe perhaps having cycles or periods of like hermiting, isolation, and then kind of re-emerging. But it feels um, like life death cycles, and then these integration periods. Okay, so pink water. I'm gonna let the pink water like backstory and all of that just kind of, I wanted to start with that, but I'm actually not being guided to start. So I'm going to just continue to tune in and allow what wants to come through to come through. Also, the thumbnail that I chose was sort of a recreation of a very vivid, specific astral dream encounter that I had quite a while back. And I was doing this like tarot dreamscapes on YouTube. I think I did a few of them, like a little, I don't know if I call it a series, but I would just have these like very specific images come through a dream, and then I was guided to like turn it into a thumbnail that was supposed to kind of act as like an oracle card. And one of those was this particular thumbnail. So I believe I already have it somewhere on YouTube where there's like a whole deeper energetic transmission into that thumbnail. So I will try to remember to pin it in the comment, and if someone's interested or feels a pull, I think I recorded that like, I don't know, a year and a half ago maybe, but it's coming through really strongly. Okay, I'm just going to take a breath. Okay, lives. So my intention with these lives partly was also to, as we like co-create community, to be able to have a space for also like a little bit of one-on-one. So if you had like a specific inquiry, obviously it wouldn't be private. I do offer private sessions, but because anyone listening, and I will post these on YouTube, can have access to it. But I know that I've had other people um, who, like on Clubhouse, Bridget Renee Holiday does these like amazing, if you're not familiar with her, these amazing rooms on Clubhouse where she offers like one-to-one signups, and then it's like a specific price point. I think she does like a minimum, and then like it's a donation. You get to pick how much something, and then she does like a one-to-one, but everyone's listening. And there's been so many times where like I didn't have the funds to do a one-to-one, but I felt guided to tune in, and there would be like maybe not the whole thing, but like one or two of the one-to-ones that were like mirroring something that I was experiencing. And I was so grateful for that. And I've already created things like this also off and on since like 2021. But I haven't figured out, I suppose, like it's kind of been like I create something, experience it, and then I feel guided to like do something else. So yeah, right now I've been feeling guided for a while to find a way to do like these live transmissions, and then have people be able to, I have like a Stripe link set up. So if you click on it, you can like, have a one-to-one while it's live. Yeah, like maybe about one or two inquiries, and then also bringing in collective energetics and anything that I channel through. Since this is new, obviously don't have any people who are here yet, any of us, but I'm still going to be posting these because that's what I just feel guided to do, and hopefully be co-creating that sort of, I like to call it multidimensional community weaving, because we're bringing in so much of between whoever shows up, even if no one is physically here. I still pick up on the like whatever you want to call it, the quantum field, and bringing that through. So I'm just looking down at my notes because I know oh yeah, okay. So recently, I guess from beginning of April 2026 to now, June 26th. Is it the 26th? It's the 28th. June of 2026. That's a very specific time frame. So whenever you're finding this, if it's in the future, the last like 2 months feel very significant and highlighted. Also, the year 2017 was coming through the last few days so strongly. 2017. And again, if you're finding this not in the year 2026, it would be like the last 9 years. So like a 9-year cycle that is seeming to be completing. And in this, and I was just making all these notes because when I flew from Montenegro to Seattle on, like I said, June 16th, and I was in Montenegro for 2 months, and I really felt like that time. And I'm sharing this because there may be some similar mirroring going on with the collective that I'm tuning into. So for a while, I felt like I just needed to go somewhere very back to basics and like just kind of be. And I wasn't exactly sure why, but I just knew. And I'm not saying that everyone has to like go get a tiny little back to basics place in Montenegro, but this idea of like taking and carving out a time to just be. And that's really what Montenegro, I mean, it's a little bit of traveling around, not too much, but it was very back to basics. I did a lot of like personal like reorganizing and working with my body in different ways. Yeah. Anyway, so some of you could be going through something similar, and I was hearing that phrase that's very popular now. Comparison is like the thief of joy. Also, the word confidence is becoming through, renewing confidence. So it feels like this preparation phase for some of you, if you're finding this, there may be, again, this like, it could be 2 months for some of you. It doesn't have to be 2 months, but this pink full moon that was in April felt very significant for some of you here. And that inspired the Pink Water Transmission title. So I feel like I need to keep readjusting myself. So I feel like energetically, yeah, there's been this like readjustment period, preparation period. I was just reminded, I already shared this on YouTube, but I was reminded of this dream that I had not that long ago. I was feeling really guided to watch like interviews with people that I admired when I was younger. And Mariah Carey was one of them. And she had this like, has this very, if you're not familiar, like, I don't know, reputation is the right word, but like she's very serious about taking care of her voice and the things that she needs to, like she likes lavish things and she didn't grow up with that. So for her, you know, that is something that she really embraces, I guess, in these phases of her life where she wasn't like the struggling artist anymore, I guess you could say. Anyway, so I had this dream after watching some of this where it felt like, so I was in the dream, but obviously I'm using this as the collective. So whoever's listening to this, you can also feel free to invite yourself to imagine experiencing this in a visual scape, a landscape, or a dreamscape, where I'm just trying to figure out this camera placement too. Okay, where I'm just giggling because I'm being shown different images. Okay. In the dream, I was lounging. I really love to lounge. Like I don't love sitting up, to be honest. I either like to be like standing or walking or like to lounge. I'm really grateful though. I'm using this desk that my sister and my brother-in-law have in the room I'm staying in while I'm helping out with the kids for the summer. That's why I'm back in Seattle. My sister and my brother-in-law moved here. And so, yeah, they asked me to come help out with the kids. And I'm in transition, so it just kind of worked out for everyone. But so, yeah, I'm very grateful for this. But I'm just saying, like, I love to lounge. And I always felt a little bit like lazy for that for a long time. I don't anymore. And I remember finding these Mariah Carey videos, and she literally was like, I love to lounge. And I was like, thank you. Like, it's just so nice when you get to find other people, um, who still become successful in their own right. And it's not even about success, but just like owning who they are. Anyway, so there could be things like this where you're kind of combing through these different parts of yourself that maybe at one point, like the pistachio, right? Like hidden wisdom, hidden parts of ourselves that are now being like honored and celebrated. And or that refining process of being more comfortable in owning those parts of ourselves. And a big part of that also feels like this idea of, okay, so last night I'm being shown like so many different things in a dream. There was a gray animal, excuse me, that was a big release, that looked like an owl in the dream. And I like saw it so clearly. And I went up to it, and the closer I got, it was actually a gray cat. And then behind, it was like pretty big. And then behind this gray cat owl was a regular sized domestic gray cat, which my sister's cat, they have a couple cats here. One of them, Freya, she's so beautiful. I'm surprised she's not here. She loves this energy. She usually shows up like right away. Has been sleeping with me almost every night. And so it felt like a version of her in the dream. But of course, owls. So owls and cats can be significant. Owls, nighttime intuition, hidden sort of. I'm like picturing the owl, like the way they like move. It can almost like scare people. Like I think a lot of people are scared of owls. So there's something also within you that maybe you have felt like you've been misunderstood, like a part of you that might feel scary to other people, but to you it's like so natural and innate. I think this is like all humans really, but not everyone will access that in this lifetime or go through that perhaps. And with the cat, I don't know, I'm just getting like reverence. Reverence is a big word coming through. Reverence. And I just like felt the need to start picking up a pencil and like making these what can be called like asemic scripts, light language. So some of you may be getting urges. I don't know. I also just kept feeling like I need to be holding a pencil. So some of you could be tapping more deeply into these practices, like stream of consciousness writing, light language transmissions, abstract art, fine art for some of you. Something like with using the hands and stream of consciousness, writing, speaking. But I'm really getting something about like physicalizing it in some way. So using your voice, using some sort of writing utensil, art supplies. Okay, now to pink water. You may be seeing the number 17, ones and sevens, 17, 71, things of that nature. So the Seven Sisters Pleiades constellation. I know that I play with my hair a lot. It is something I'm working on. For sure. It's something I'm working on. Also, some of you may be like feeling like you want to do something different to your hair if you have hair. There could be something about the head, the hair. I just heard the head and the heart. I think that's a band. Maybe some of you like that band, right? The head and the heart. They did this one cover that I actually really liked, and I can't remember what it is, but that song's coming in, and I just can't remember what it is, but I like feel it. I'm also seeing a baton, like someone using a baton for something, or like what are they called? Like a wand, maybe like a crystal wand, or like making a wand. Yeah, like making something. Also, these little squiggles that I don't call them squiggles, but people who don't like understand that type of thing will call what I do squiggles, which yes, they are squiggles in one way, but again, bringing in that multidimensionality, there's ways to like scry, right? Some of you may already be doing this, and getting hidden messages through some of this. And it looked like what I just somehow brought through was, what are they called? On a carousel. It's like the pole, and I see like a horse or a deer, and it's like going around on the carousel. So carousels could be significant. Okay. It's reminding me of another astral dreamscape that I've talked about, honestly, multiple times at this point, but it continues to come around just like the carousel. So I'm trusting there's like a reason that it keeps coming around. mm. In this dream, it was nighttime. I was at, speaking of a carousel, like an amusement park, and I was going on a Ferris wheel, and I was alone. And when I say I, again, I'm using like the collective, for this collective. Anything that I share is generally for a collective. So like, feel free to translate it personally for you. And yeah, so us, the collective, are on this Ferris wheel. Just admiring the view. It was nighttime, a view of a carousel of different like tents around. And as we come off the Ferris wheel, all of a sudden we're surrounded by a very like 1940s style paparazzi with like the really fast speaking, or 1920s, 1940s, like da, 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 you know, speaking of a pencil, like writing with, that's funny because I didn't plan this. This was already here from my brother-in-law and I just pulled this out, you know, like taking those quick notes and interviewing really fast and speaking really fast. They had those like old school cameras where it would like flash you and like almost blind you. Um, and they were like, how does it feel to get everything you want in this moment? And they were showing me a paper, like a newspaper in the dream, which this is so, I swear I did not plan any of this. When I was in Budva in Montenegro, the host, I loved her. I got to know her really well, and she was amazing. And she took me with her kids somewhere to one of the like downtown areas to do like just, her kids were in a parade, so we were just kind of like around. And she was like, "Oh, let's do this together." It was really cute. So it was like a, not something I would ever do, but it was like a pretend newspaper thing that someone was offering as a service, and you could like, so synchronistically, I almost threw it away because I took a photo of it, and I'm traveling with a backpack, and even though it's a piece of paper, like I'm very mindful of what I keep with me. But then they told me to keep this and put it right next to me on the desk. My family is home. It's about to get really loud. Anyway, so very synchronistically, I placed that, and it was very similar to that, like those like old school newspaper looking things. And it was like the person, like a counterpart, is ready. They're here. Like they just proposed to you. Like everything was like being done behind the scenes and all showing up in that moment. So I feel like this collective I'm tuning into, a lot of us have been kind of experiencing what can look like from the material realm perspective, like some sort of drought, probably in most areas, or this like in between phase. And again, that like comparison or thief of joy, like you may be sometimes like, it feels like less now, but there may be been periods where you're like, yeah, this collective, it really feels like you have been. Hi. What's up?
It was very fun at the party. I got a fairy wing.
You did?
And a fairy clown and a fairy wand.
Can I see? Can you try your fairy wings on?
Well, I'm going to go upstairs.
Okay.
The party was very fun. And there was a door in the cave.